What is up, MS Gym Nation? How you guys doing? Welcome to Motivational Monday. For those of you who just joined with us, we do these every Monday. We get these motivation talks going, and we talk about mindset, because mindset with MS is just as important as the physical as everything, right? So if you're not working on yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, lifestyle-wise, socially, everything, then there's really no point, because fighting back against MS and really working on just creating your MS life and not letting MS take you out is not just all about just your medicine and exercise and whatever. There's a big mind game that goes on constantly, and it's an everyday thing, because not every day with MS is predictable. You know, not every day in regular life is predictable, but with a neurological condition like MS, it's not predictable. And days are like, some days are great, some days are not great. Some days you know why you're having a good day, some days you know why you're having a bad day. Some days you don't know why you're having a good day, and some days you don't know why you're having a bad day. Okay? So, I titled this, "It's Okay to Pump the Brakes" on some of this stuff, to kind of encourage you that failure is part of this game. All right? Failure is part of this path, part of this journey, part of this story, whatever analogy you want to use, is that failure is necessary in order for us as human beings and our human brains to learn. Because without failure, there's no way to truly gauge success and to truly gauge whether things are working or whether they're not. So I'm going to give you an example from my own life. So last week I put out an email to some of the members that are on the email list, which I use to communicate with you guys on a deeper level, to give you more lessons, to give you kind of more insights into how to live a better MS life, and just kind of walk with you through this on a deeper level than just being in Facebook. So if you want information on that, go to exercisewithms.com and sign up for one of those free MS exercise guides, and you'll be on my email list, and then we're good. But I talked about it last week, and I had a lot of great heartfelt feedback from people last week, which I do need to respond to, and I will. And I shared part of my story in that, because of some autoimmunity stuff that I deal with, two pretty big conditions in celiac and Lyme disease. I have been in a relapse for almost a year and a half. And I don't have time to go into it, but basically, I've built myself back up from being to the point where this time last year, I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't use one of my legs for weeks at a time. So I was in a boot because of because of almost like a gout, rheumatoid arthritis, weird flare up where I couldn't even use my feet for about 16, 17 weeks. So I would alternate from one side of my body to the other side of my body. Once one side healed, then the other side would blow out. And it was really bad. And I couldn't do anything. I literally lost my passion and my enthusiasm for exercise. I was like, nothing's working. This sucks. I was in a major state of depression. And, the past year and a half has really built me up and shown me what I'm made of, because I was at a really bad place. And I don't know what fail means, James. Hi there, but I don't know what fail means. So, fail. Yes, fail. Be okay with that. Gotcha. So, but anyway, so I've been working a lot on a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing in the MS gym. That's what I use. That's what I use to rebuild my nervous system. And I'm finally to the point where I'm lifting weights again. And I'm lifting, not a ton, but, we're working our way up. And I wrote about how I actually ran twice. Well, when I wrote the email last week, I ran once. No, I'd actually run twice that week. And I used the butts, guts, and blades method to really try to start running. Well, I was running, and then I noticed that everything hurt. Everything in my body was just horrendously painful. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, really? Like, this sucks. Like, I thought I was ready. I thought I built it up. I'd been walking, stretching, doing balance stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's just run for a minute, walk for a minute, run for a minute, walk for a minute. And by about minute 10, I was just like, ugh, like, this sucks. I started to get all depressed. And I looked over to my right and I noticed that I wasn't doing butts, guts, and blades. My hips were back. I was leaning forward. My head was forward. I was slapping my feet down. And I all of a sudden went BGB on myself, right? And I corrected. And I felt pretty good running. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. And so for the next, to finish out my session, just going a minute on, minute off, I felt good. I felt free. I felt really, really open. Like, oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm not back 100%, but I was back. Now, here's what happened is that 2 days later, I went back and did the exact same program. And I actually worked more on before I ran. I did the rebuild program stuff. I did foot drop stuff. I released spasticity that I typically have in my hips and my calves. And I was like, all right, we're going to nail this. We're going to nail it, right? And it didn't turn out like that. So it was a rough day. I was looking at myself in the mirror. I was pushing butts, guts, and blades. I was doing everything right. I mean, my posture looked great, but for some reason, my body wasn't having it that day. And I don't know if it was because I was tired from pushing before, or it was like I was overthinking it, which is probably what the case was. But I was trying so hard to do butts, guts, and blades and do it right and nail it and perfect it that my body was like, dude, what are you doing? And it just didn't let me do it. And so I really struggled. Like, Saturday was really tough. Like, it wasn't a good day. Like, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt, my neck hurt. Even after I was done, I was like, I don't feel good. And today I noticed it when I went and worked out, is that I wasn't feeling that good again. And, I don't know what it was. I could speculate on that there was a neurological overload. I pushed myself past my neural edge. I could go geek out on you guys. But the thing is what I did is once I started feeling crappy on Saturday, I backed it up. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push it today. And I walked. So I slowed down my treadmill and I put it on like a little mini hill and I walked. And I was a little bit angry and frustrated at the beginning, but I was like, I'm still going to get it done. Like, we're still going to practice good walking mechanics, because good walking mechanics lead to good running mechanics. And so if I go back to the basics and the fundamentals of, good gait pattern and getting my hips underneath me and my guts pulled in and my blades working, my brain will remember. And I did that. And then today, just cause I needed to prove it, after I wasn't feeling great lifting, but I actually went and did a little long warm up, like about 5-6 minutes. And I tried to do about 5 to 8 of those 1 minute runs, and I was better again. Right. So the thing I tell you that in that it's okay if you have to pump the brakes, meaning if you just crush like one of your MS exercise guides or your rebuild modules or whatever it is, if you go in there and you just nail it, or let's say you nail one of the Facebook Live couple exercises or a series or a circuit or something like that, and you just nail it one week, like you're just like, I feel awesome. And then you go back and repeat it, and it doesn't feel the same, or it doesn't feel as strong, or it doesn't feel as good, or you're really struggling, or you have more spasticity, or your foot drops back, or your neck hurts, or you feel it, you're like, I just don't feel it as much, or whatever. Oh, I choked on myself. I just want to encourage you that just because you have a bad day or a bad session or series of sessions working out doesn't mean that you're backsliding. It doesn't mean that you're getting worse. It doesn't mean that this isn't working. It doesn't mean that your one good week that you had was a fluke. All it means is that your body's learning. And like James just put up, is that failing is your first attempt in learning. So thank you for that. And so like once you fail, there's patterns fed into your brain that tell your body like that didn't work. And so you have an opportunity to then do something different. Whether that's back it up, whether that's try again, whether that's do something different, that is what your brain wants. And so when you're thinking about pumping the brakes, welcome that. Because what I hear in a lot of comments on Facebook and in the rebuilds and all that kind of stuff is that people are getting upset because they could do something one day and then they're coming back and they're like, oh, I just, last week I did really well, and then this week, like, I'm just not doing well and I'm falling behind, and I just, I don't know, I just don't feel like I'm getting better. Or last week I did 20 minutes of exercise and this week I only got through 10 minutes of exercise and then my legs don't work anymore or something like that. Well, what did you change? Right? You got to think about, well, what happened? What changed? If you really want to analyze it, okay? So, MS is a tricky foe because it's so delicate and yet it's so vicious at the same time, in that with MS is that you could literally you could be 8 ounces less hydrated, right? You're 8 ounces short on water. You could be a little bit deficient in magnesium. You could have gotten 30 minutes less quality sleep. You could have had bad dreams. That kept you from sleeping. You could have had a stressful conversation with your spouse or your kids. You could have just like not had any time to relax and process anything, and that can flare up your symptoms, or that can throw off your rhythm. And the thing is that we are all humans, you guys, and we are all human beings. And as much as I would love to say that, actually I know that we're all superheroes, but we have a mortal side to us as well, right? We're half gods. We're half superheroes. But there's a moral side there's a mortal side to us and a human side to us too, that sometimes you're just tired. And sometimes your body's not in the perfect combination. And especially when you start out exercising and you start out on this path to help you rebuild your life from MS and really start to take on something new, like a daily exercise program, when you haven't done a daily exercise program in 10 years, your body may just be telling you like, hey dude, I just need to rest. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, that's why you have the opportunity to repeat things. That's why I give you exercises that you can do while seated or in a bed, or that are a little bit more low key and less intense, so that you have options, because you do want to try to move every day. However, you also need to listen to your body. And I just want, this isn't a huge motivation thing for people. I'm subtly firing you up, but I want to fire you up in the fact that, like, if you are failing and you know that you're not feeling great, that means that you know what good felt like, right? So if you know what good feels like and you start to feel better and then you have some off days, that's going to be even more frustrated than it was before you knew the MS, because you didn't know what you didn't know. And now you're starting to feel better and you have a little bit of glimpses of hope, and things start to run a little bit better and move a little bit better and feel a little bit better. And so then when you have a rough day, you're super hard on yourself and you're super frustrated with yourself, and you go into this defeat land and this land of darkness where it's like, well, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe this is just a fluke. Maybe I just, maybe it works for some people and maybe it's not for me. Or, maybe I can't get over this. Like, I'm saying this because, like, I went through the same thing all weekend. Like, Sunday was not a great day for me. I was in a crappy mood. I was, like, feeling amazing on Friday, and then Saturday was just not a good day. My body hurt. My brain was foggy. Like, I just was in an irritable mood. So, sorry, Misty. I just wasn't feeling it, and I didn't even know how to describe what it was. It was disappointed, and I was a little disheartened, and I was like, man, I went from such an emotional high to such a emotional low, like within 48 hours. Or, yeah, no, like 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. And guys, I've gone through this over and over again. Like, I've been dealing with, autoimmunity crap for 5 years. I mean, I know some of you are like way longer than that with MS, but like I almost got taken out, like literally. Like, I thought I was going to die. Like, I hate to say that on film, but I did. And I'm not trying to be over dramatic. Nothing worked. Like, my body wasn't processing food. My muscles were wasting. My muscles were tearing. I was pulling things. My joints weren't working. My brain wasn't working. My eyes weren't working. My teeth hurt. My jaw hurt. My back hurt. My neck hurt. Everything. And when I went from that moment of victory last week to the failure feeling like a failure and feeling frustrated on Saturday, it was scary. Like, it was scary. And I didn't know how to transfer it. So instead of expressing that I was fearful, I just got mad. And yeah, James, 10 years, man. I feel you, dude. So I just got mad. I got mad because I was afraid. And I was like, this sucks. So I had to take a sec and have a pity party for, 5-6 hours and just kind of sit and sulk and be introspective and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, it wasted a good chunk of my day with my family on Sunday, which is legitimately our biggest family day. And my mood affected my wife, and my mood affected my kids, and my mood kind of derailed us from doing anything really fun on Sunday. It wasn't great. And I feel bad, and I can't get that time back. But what I can do now is I can learn that I'm okay, that I know how to get out of it. I know that I'll be okay. I know that if I ran good once or twice, that I can run well again. Right? Run good, run well, whatever. I can run well again. I can get back in that groove again. Just because I had kind of a rough lifting day today, I'm going to be better on Wednesday. I just know it because I've spent so many years battling these demons of I suck and this isn't going to get better. And I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Is this really working? Is it not? Am I just trying to fool myself? And I'm just telling you, it is. It is. Holly, that's awesome. Holly just said she did the elliptical for 26 minutes and then hiked a half mile on Saturday because of the work that we're doing together. And she's one of my people here in Colorado that we're working with. So thank you, Holly. That makes me feel good. So see, while she was having a crappy day on Saturday, while I was having a crappy day on Sunday, she was celebrating victory from her Saturday. That's how this works. That's why we're in the MS gym. Holly, you just fired me up. So that's why we're in the MS gym, and that's why we're a community and we're a family. That victory that Holly just shared makes me want to be yeah, I'm gonna look for my next victory. So sometimes you just need to back it up and pump the brakes. And sometimes you need to realize that just because you push it a little bit and your body doesn't respond well doesn't mean that you weren't supposed to be there, or doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be there, or doesn't mean that you don't belong there. It was just a day. And it may be a week. But the thing is that persistence will overcome problems, right? So push, the acronym PUSH. Persist until something happens. Persist until something happens, right? Or push until something happens. Or pray until something happens, right? Or something, think about it, push. So that's the thing, is that you have to persist until something happens. Just like the MS gym, you guys, you've heard part of our story, is that this has been a 7-year journey. And I've gotten knocked down so many damn times I can't even, pardon my mouth, but so many times that I can't even tell you by my attempts to find what we are building and what we have built in the MS gym with you guys. And so that was my physical story, but from a personal story, there's been a lot of failure and a lot of bad days and a lot of mistakes made along the way, just trying to figure it out. But the thing is that every time Misty and I failed some path that we tried to go on to get us to you all, our failure showed us that that's not what we were supposed to do. That's not who we were supposed to be with. That is not who we were supposed to be pursuing, and that's not how we were supposed to be pursuing them. So it took a long time to figure out our path and a lot of mistakes to figure out what we were really trying to do. Excuse me just a sec. That's better. But we finally persisted until something happened. And what happened is I just said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get on and just kind of start sharing some videos and hopefully people find it. And here we sit at 7,200 or 7,300 people, whatever we're at now. I haven't looked today. But you need to persist until something happens. Okay? So that's the thing, you guys, is that you're going to have not good days. It's going to happen because you're human. And unless you're sitting in an isolated room and you don't listen to the news, you don't talk to people, you don't have any interaction besides listening to me all the time, which is awesome. But, you know, I don't want you sitting in a padded room just listening to Misty and I. I mean, it'd probably be fun, but, but there's other things. Like, you have to get out and live your life. You have to get out and interact with people. You have to get out and tell your MS story. You have to get out and move. You need to get out and experience life. You need to get out and show yourself that you are getting better, that you can walk more steps, that you can take a walk with your husband, that you can, you know, go play with your kids, that you can go hiking like Holly did, that you can go to the gym and push past that 15-minute mark on a elliptical and get to 20. That you can, you know, exercise for the 12th day in a row, even though that you're kind of tired, but you're still going to do it and feel good afterwards. So that's the thing, you guys, is that you are human and you are going to run into obstacles. You are going to run into challenges. Stress is a part of life, but the challenge or the skill is how do you respond to it and how do you let it either take you out or push you forward? All right. So are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a victor? Like, I choose to be a victor. Like, even though my body hurt yesterday and today, I still went and knocked it out this morning with the weights, and I tried to run again and felt better. I didn't feel great, but I felt better. And I just realized that, you know, I probably, you know, there's some things that I need to do after I run to probably try to help my body recover better, which I didn't do, right? So, you know, get back on my supplements a little bit better, which I ordered yesterday. I didn't drink as much water as I should have right after I ran, which I know I need to do because we had to go pick up our girls and we were running around with them and I just didn't get dialed. So maybe that was part of it. And then Sunday, I was so irritated with myself that I just put extra stress on myself, which made things worse and my body hurt more and it didn't feel good. So the thing is, you guys, is that you are going to be affected by the things around you. Just expect it. But expect that those things are going to knock you a little bit off course here and there. But the thing is that what we're teaching you in the MS Gym allows you to course correct better, allows you to course correct faster, and allows you to course correct out of a failure and turn that into a fight and eventually a victory because you learn to not do that again. Or maybe it's you failed once and maybe you do it again, but you're probably not going to mess up more than twice. And if you really start to focus on getting yourself better and really, really embracing those failures and trying to figure out what happened and how you could do things better, then you're going to end up becoming more proficient and more skilled. Like I just had a woman today that I worked with, one of your fellow MS gymmers. Like the lady literally like 3 weeks ago couldn't do a deadlift without almost falling over. Like I caught her on her like second rep of doing a deadlift. And today she was rocking out deadlifts with a 20-pound kettlebell, like in 3 weeks. So she went from, and she has primary progressive and she's had it for 30 freaking years. She's had MS for 30 years, right? So, it works, right? But she failed the second session that we had on those deadlifts. And she was a little bummed out and like, oh God, like she wasn't real sure, but she nailed it today. She just walked up and went bam and just picked up that 20-pound weight. So it's possible. Like, so that's the thing I want you to know is that if you run into challenges, pump the brakes mentally, pump the brakes physically, stop for a sec and regroup and be like, all right, man, breathe, and either attempt it one more time. And if it still doesn't work, maybe it's just not the day. So then switch to something less intense, like stretching or just slowly walking or just lying there and breathing and trying to like calm yourself down and get out of that anxiety, out of that crazy cycle, and out of that headspace of this isn't working, I'm not going to get better, or this is defeating me, or oh my gosh, I'm pissed off and frustrated. And let yourself come back to earth and just center yourself again. Okay? Because it's going to be okay. I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. As long as you stay in the MS Gym and stay in the programs that you're using and continue to do them, things will happen. Like there's some people in some really, really hard conditions in the MS Gym where they barely can move their feet. I mean, they're almost paralyzed, and I'm getting messages sent to me saying, hey, I wiggled my toes. Hey, I picked up my feet. This is the first time in 5 years I've been able to do that. Hey, my foot's not falling in anymore. Hey, my knees aren't falling anymore. Hey, look, I'm sitting up straight in my chair, where I haven't been able to sit up straight in my chair for 5 years, and basically people told me like, well, that's just MS. You're just going to get weaker. So, I'm like, they all had bad days, and they all had to literally pump the brakes and tell themselves, like, wait a sec, dude, this is not the way that we're going. This is not the road I want to take anymore. Let me stop, let me regroup, and let me figure out what the best strategy is. Do I try the exercise again? Do I try more repetitions? Or do I switch and do something else that I know I can do that gives me that feeling of success, that gives me that feeling of victory, and maybe I do more reps of the things that I am good at. I go back to an extra set of hip bridges, or an extra set of some stretching, or an extra set of some like planks or something that make you feel strong and good. Now I want to leave you with this, like, don't ever end a workout on a bad note. It's just like, don't ever go to bed in a fight with your spouse or your kids. Like, it's not worth it. Like, so go to bed with a victory. Go to bed feeling proficient. Go to bed, or I'm sorry, well, go to bed that way. But don't leave a workout feeling defeated. Like, leave a workout doing something and finish with a good rep or a good set or something that you feel good about. Even if it's just laying there talking to yourself, being like, all right, this is what I did last week. This is what I accomplished last week. I was here, now I'm here. I know I can do this. This was just a challenging day. And talk yourself off of that ledge a little bit, okay? So that's the thing. James, I'll answer your questions later, my man. I don't want to get into it on the video right now as far as your leg videos. I'll have to answer that question in a little bit, okay? So just sit tight. But that's the thing, is that there is no I can't. Oh, look, Holly just said that. There is no I can't. There's I'm challenged, or I'm struggling, or I'm having a bad day, or, you know, I'm really just not in a good place right now. And you need to surround yourself with people who know that about you and that accept that and just let you be in that space without trying to push you or pull you out of it, and have some grace on you. But you need to have that same grace on yourself and that forgiveness and that favor on yourself. And don't beat yourself up because you've had a bad day or you've had a rough couple sessions or like a week. Because it will get better as long as you keep moving forward. It will get better as long as you keep pushing and persisting until something happens. So it's okay. So I give you, as your coach, the permission to pump those brakes a little bit and just chill. Like, even if you do a half set, or what, I could just give you a ton of options, but just figure out what that means. Like, what grounds you? What makes you feel successful? And I like the way that Misty gives you some, like, to-dos when she does her Misty moments. And like, I guess for me, like, the to-dos for you would be like, make a list of the exercises that you are good at, and make a list of the exercises that you started and you really had a hard time with, and now you're getting better at, and use those when you're having a bad day. Practice the good stuff. Practice the good stuff. Give yourself a break. If doing a, you know, if trying to lift your leg up to the wall on a wall on a wall march is frustrating the heck out of you, then just leave it for the day. Just leave it. Just let it go. Like, don't let go of it completely, but like, just let it go and come back and go do something that you're successful at. All right, whether it's your pause walks, whether it's, walking up a hill or doing some stand and sits or doing some of your shoulder blade stuff, like make a list of the exercises that really make you feel good and the exercises that you've really, really made a lot of improvement with, and then focus on those when you're having a rough day. All right? So that's all I can say to you is that I go through it too. Missy goes through it too, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, relationally. Like some days you're just on point and some days you're just not. But the key is to not let those bad days take you down, to know that you are strong enough to hit the brakes and be like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today, but I can come back tomorrow. You're not going to lose ground in 24 hours. I promise you. You will lose ground in 48 hours and, 72 hours and all that kind of stuff as it goes along. So have 24 hours to kind of chill, do the stuff that's successful, and then attempt it again. And, it may take a couple, 2 or 3 times before the neurological click happens and your body starts to figure it out. Okay, so I just want to encourage you guys, like it's bound to happen. It will happen that you are going to have some rough days. So just know that you are in good hands. You have the right tools to get you out of it. And if you make a list of the things that you feel good with and the things that you're proud of that you've accomplished that you can focus on, it will help you get through those rough patches better, those rough days better, and to get yourself back on that darn treadmill and try to start running again when your body tried to fool you into thinking that you could, or your mind tried to fool you into thinking that you couldn't. All right? So push through it, persevere until something happens, and you will succeed. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Have an awesome Monday. I'll talk to you soon.